So, K-pop Demon Hunters is showing you the generations of hunters, and I know many of you are curious about them, right? So, I have done my research for 3 days and now I'm making this video as a one complete guide to explain you and show you exactly how each generations of hunters is saving the humanity, what magical weapons were they using, how the first generation actually made the first honeymoon, how the use of Korean shamanism is changing in each generation, the music and everything from the first generation up to the HUNTRIX. So I'm your Aryan and you can sit back, relax because you do not want to miss this important and a rich video about the generation of demon hunters. So the first generation, or simply say the first creators of the Horn Moon, can be spotted fighting demons in the prologue. Starting from the outfit, then at first many of you might simply call it as hanbok, which is right but not accurate enough. This is not just an ancient hanbok. Look at the collars and you'll notice that it's actually an overlapping V-neck kit collar, which is a characteristic of early hanbok, and the simplicity is pointing at the Three Kingdoms period, which means the first generation is taking place in the time period of the kingdoms like Baekje and Silla. This was a time when Korean shamanism was the dominant spiritual practice, and that's exactly what is being used by the first generation. The headband on the central member is highly significant. It's a direct representation of their ritualistic authority and the fact how they must be playing a part in the unification of the Silla. Now, how they created the first Horn Moon. So hear me out. The first ever creation of Horn Moon is most likely a result of a cataclysmic event. In simple words, they must have used a massive ritual for Korean ghosts, spirits, or in their own term, Dokaibi, which means goblin or demons. The first generation hunters were not an idol, remember that, but they were Mudang, aka female shamans. Their music would be highly ritualistic, shamanic, with some powerful drumming, chanting, and spiritual dances. The Horn Moon was not a pop song but a profound, almost primal type of spiritual barrier which must be created by their spiritual mantras and Korean practices. So, what weapons were they using? I would say shamanic staff, Bang Jang, and a ritual bell, Bang Ul. The staff could be used to strike the ground to create spiritual barriers and focus the energy, while the sound of the bell is equivalent to purifying the whole surrounding and binding the evil entities in Korean culture. That's your first generation, and this is how they made your first ever Horn Moon. You hit the like button if you are loving this video, and let's move forward. The second generation. Now, what I'm able to catch from their quick glimpse is that the second generation of hunters are having the flapper style outfit. It's taken place in 1920s, which is also a time of the Japanese colonial period in Korea. Demons in this era would use the anxieties of cultural suppressions, identity crisis, and the feeling of forced modernization, which must be common in that time period. Now, the hunters of second generation must be using a different way to keep the Horn Moon. Their music would move beyond pure shamanism towards early forms of Korean popular music, Yuha Inga. Watch how the number of audience is also increasing from generation to generation, and for the second generation, you can imagine performances in hidden cafes or underground clubs. Wondering about the weapons? Then I guess they must be using some concealed huando, aka the short sword. Secondary weapon can be modified bin-yo or a hairpin blade and lucky charms. Traditional Korean hairpins bin-yo can be easily removed from their short hairstyles to become magical and effective daggers. Meanwhile, their feathered headbands might conceal smaller, spiritually charged metal pieces or charms for stopping demons. Third generation. Now, the third generation must be taking place in the time period of early 40s and 50s. You can spot the hairstyles and the two-piece women's suit, which is a direct representation of that time. Yes, have a look at their more modern 50s microphone, which is a whole opposite thing from its previous generation. How are they keeping the Horn Moon? So in my personal research, their music would shift to early K-pop ballads called as trot music. It must be having some sort of structured format with morale boosting tunes, and the modern 50s microphone is a direct representation of the growing importance of radio communication as a tool for spreading the voices against the demons. What weapons they might be using? For them, I would say it can be your concealed sword cane or umbrella blade, aka Jangji Gyeom. Secondary weapon can be their modified radio transistors or microphone with sonic pulse. The modern 50s microphone is not just for singing, it's a device that can emit a focused, low-frequency energy capable of stunning the physical demons. The fourth generation. Yes, from the styling, we can say that the time period of the fourth generation must be around 60s and 70s. The Hunters seems to be based on the girl groups which are highly inspired by the groups like the Ronettes and the Supremes. What weapons were they using? Most probably some retractable Nangxion or the multi-tip spear glove and the gauntlet. Secondary weapons can be their harmony harps. It can be those ornate, large necklaces or earrings that can fit in the time period of 4th generation, which can be activated by their harmonized singing and can project a very focused sound energy to release a small yet an explosive spiritual charms for killing demons and saving the Horn Moon. The 5th generation. I believe this is the generation from where the whole perspective of Demon Hunters was shifting. Before that, Korea was going through a lot of shifts and cultural changes. But now, the 5th generation of Hunters is your Sunlight Sisters, and this time period must be around 90s and early 2000s. Baggy jeans, crop tops, the way how they're performing a full-scale dancing is a clear hint of more independence for the females and so for the Hunters. The amount of audience is now increased, and that's where a golden horn moon is formed once again. So how they made a golden horn moon? The first generation of Hunters were the strongest because they are the only one who came up with a barrier that was not even there before. After that, many challenges and limitations were taking place in Korea, so the second generation up to the fourth generations are the one which was barely keeping it safe. And that's why the Sunlight Sisters, aka the 5th generation, had to make a new golden horn moon since they were having the full independence in modern Korea to perform at full intensity with their voices. Their music would be more energetic, diverse like blend of hip-hop, R&B and dance pop with proper choreography. They recognize the global potential of music, and that's how they start showing the raw power and use the trends of the globalizations of K-pop as a tool to promote the spiritual voices to the whole world, and hence they forced the Golden Horn Moon to develop and save the world. Their weapons are now officially revealed by one of the storyboard artists, Darren Webb, where you can see how Celine is having the magical sword just like Rumi. Meanwhile, the third member is having a mythical axe, and the mom of Rumi can be spotted with some sort of bow and arrows. The HUNTRIX. So, welcome to the K-pop Demon Hunters, a world which is now ruled by Rumi, Mira and Zoe, a girl group who is known for ruling the hearts of billions and the one who came out to be the most fashionable and attractive music and styling for the fans. Colorful hairs, the outfits, makeup and everything is now inspired by K-pop groups like Blackpink, Twice and many more. This is the modern world and the Golden Horn Moon is not there. That's where demons now operate on a global scale, exploiting social media addiction, parasocial relationship, cancel culture and the anxieties and guilts of a hyper-connected world to feed on the soul of the people. HUNTRIX is now using the same power of the internet and global popularity of the K-pop, using their world tour to travel to different countries and amplify the real powers and energies of the Horn Moon globally. Unlike the previous 5 generations, HUNTRIX is making a deep impact because they are exploring the whole world physically as well. Yes, we are now talking about billions of views and following, and that's why they can be called as the most powerful groups of demon hunters after the very first generation. Their weapons are having different meanings. Rumi wields a sword which is called as Saint Guillaume, aka a 4-tiger sword, which is having a straight blade inscribed with symbols and is believed to channel tiger energy and kill the evil. Mira is using a Voldo, which is also known as Moon Blade Polearm. Zoe is using a Sinkal, which is a ritual dagger used by shamans for the purpose of exorcism, cutting the spiritual ties and channeling the divine energies. It directly connects Zoe to the ancient shamanic roots of the hunters despite her modern rapper persona. So yes, that's your HUNTRIX at the end. We know how they have made a new horn moon of mixed colors, which also brings so many new theories for the future, but for now, I guess we have explored everything, and you hit subscribe if you enjoyed the video and let me know which generation would you want to explore if you ever get a chance. I'm your host Aryan, thanks for watching, stay safe, peace out.